Welcome to the Nash Attack. Thank you so much for all of the wonderful feedback and response about my episode not Friday, on Saturday. I ended up recording Saturday about the ultimatum on Netflix. People have been messaging me like crazy to tell me that they watch this show. I have so many little one-on-one conversations happening about the ultimatum on Netflix. I'm so thrilled. Thank you for reaching out to me about that. Yes, we will cover it more on this Friday's episode because tomorrow, Wednesday, the new episode drops, the finale, as well as the reunion. We will get into all of that. We have a few topics to cover today. I've watched some things, experienced some things that we got to talk about here on the Nash Attack podcast. First up, though, want to start on kind of a somber note. The fabulous Anna Shay from Bling Empire has passed away at age 62, which I am so devastated about. Yes, I know that she came into her money by strange means. In terms of reality television, she gave it all and she was fabulous. If I ever had that much money, that is how I would live my life. I just loved Anna Shay, and she had this wonderful expression from the first season that stuck with me forever. I tell everybody this with absolutely no shame whenever she said, "Life is not a dress rehearsal." It is something that always stuck with me so much, and I just really liked Anna Shay. I thought she was a wonderful character. I love how kind she was whenever the new guy entered the group and taking care of him. Whenever Kelly on the show was in a abusive relationship and she didn't realize how bad it was, but once she saw it, how maternal she was with her and just begging her to get out of the relationship, and was so understanding and please just do what you have to do to take care of yourself, was so upfront about it. Anna Shay was just truly just the coolest. She was so cool, and she will be greatly missed. I mean, 62 years old is so young. I just, it's so sad. I feel like there were so many more seasons of Bling Empire and so many more dinner parties for her to not invite people to and to switch the table cards around in shady ways. She was fabulous. She will be very missed. I don't even know if there is going to be a Bling Empire season 3, but I personally probably couldn't watch it without Anna Shay. She was my reason for being there. Not even kidding you. I loved her from the trailer and just was a huge fan. So yeah, I had to just say that up front. So just wanted to take a second up front to acknowledge her contribution to pop culture and reality television, because Anna Shay was truly that bitch. And that is something I say in a not offensive way at all. It is just plain fact. She ran shit and she did whatever she wanted to do, and it was super inspiring. So yeah, really sad note to start this on, but I had to just touch on it. Normally I don't talk about stuff like that, but I'm just like, oh man, not one of my reality people, not one of my Bling Empire people. I love Bling Empire, y'all. That's a great show. If you haven't watched that, and then the other version, there's 2 of them on Netflix, watch them both. It's a great show. But let's do it. Let's get into some other topics. Oh, really quickly, I just wanted to say, did you guys see the new Apple products that are coming out? I'm just going to put it out here. I think it's absolutely zero coincidence that the Nash Attack podcast covers VR last week and then Apple drops their new VR headset. I mean, come on. Okay, so it probably is a coincidence, but whatever. I think it's interesting that we covered it and then they covered it, okay? But no, Apple, I can't get into Apple VR right now because I still have an iPhone 7. It says 7S Plus, though. It is the plus 7, but they are well into the double digits. I think they've doubled the phone that I'm on. I think, what, are they on the iPhone 14 or 15? I don't even know. I am just not an early adopter in that way for that sort of stuff. There's things that I love and have to have immediately. And tech isn't one of them. I have a friend who is, he's one of those people. He has the newest iPhone the day it comes out, the Apple Watch, all the stuff. And I live for it, because these are the people who push the innovation forward, because they know if there's somebody out there who wants more features and will buy another phone, they're going to keep working on it. Apple will be like, what? You're challenging us to make this thing thinner? I will give you a phone that's so thin that you can dip it in salsa and take a bite of it. I mean, Apple, they are always pushing it forward, because there's those people who will just keep buying the products and stuff, which I love. I think it's so cool. I wish I could do it. How do you do it? Do I have to just bite the bullet and add a new phone to my plan? I'm one of those people. I like to buy the phone outright and own it, and then just put my little data plan on it. I'm grandfathered in from years ago where I have unlimited data, or data, however you pronounce it, however you like to pronounce it. I think that's why I'm so still holding on to this old ass, busted ass phone, because it still works. And when I bought it, I spent a small fortune on it so I could have a lot of space on it. I got the big one and it still functions fine, but maybe I do just need to bite the bullet and add a new phone to the monthly plan, because there's no way I can afford to buy one outright. Anytime I get to that point where I've saved enough to do it, it's the same price as a trip. So I end up usually taking the trip instead. Not usually. I always end up taking the trip instead. I'm sorry for going on this tangent, but yeah, I'm just not an early adopter. But maybe with the Apple VR headset, we can be early adopters. Maybe we can figure out how to get on some list. I'm going to talk to my early adopter friends out there. I have a few. I have a couple of people in my life who I know it. Day one, whenever this thing comes out, they're going to have it. They may wait till the second generation. Yeah, just early adopter chat. Okay, let's talk about what I really, where I shine. We're going to talk about television today. I guess I forgot to lay out the topics at the beginning of this, but hopefully you've read the description and I watched The Idol because of all of the feedback and criticism I read about it. I was like, I have to watch this show because I have to know if it lives up to the negative hype that it's getting. I just wanted to see it with my own two eyes. That said, I wish I could pop my eyeballs out of my head and clean them off with Clorox wipes. That show was so unnecessarily graphic. Oh, it was rough. It was a rough watch. We'll talk about it in just a second, but we're going to cover The Idol. I want to talk about Cruel Summer briefly. And then lastly, I want to do just a quick little recap, put a bow on Summer House, both Summer Houses, the Summer House OG reunion, and then Summer House Martha's Vineyard. I got to get this watch edition, which was amazing. So we'll talk about that. But let me go back to The Idol. Oh man. So The Idol, in case you are not familiar, it is that show. It was created by The Weeknd and Sam Levinson, I think is his name, the guy who created Euphoria. And I have to do a whole podcast on Euphoria someday. That show freaked me out. Oh my God. I could not imagine having a high schooler after having watched that show. It just terrifies me. Every single thing about it. It's so overly sexual and so abusive and scary, and they're on drugs, and there's just a lot happening. But all of this is happening while all the girls in the show look so cute. The best fashion, the best hair. I think they're so pretty. So I love the backdrop of that. But then the Sam Levinson guy has them constantly taking their clothes off and doing all this gross stuff with men, and it's very aggressive, just very much from the male perspective, for the male gaze. A high school girl telling her high school boyfriend, I'll do anything you tell me. I want you to tell me what to eat and what to wear. I was like, oh my God. Like, what's wrong with you? That aside, I don't know why I even watched this show. I knew I wasn't going to enjoy it. But okay, so The Idol, it's still very much in the same vein of Euphoria to me, where it's unnecessarily sexual. And knowing the stories that came out about the show, and that there were people who left the production, or they wrote about the production saying like, we just couldn't be a part of it, because it's supposed to be satirizing the darkness and craziness of pop princess Hollywood, how they hide certain things and present the girl to the media in a certain way. Like, I get the story that they're wanting to tell, and it's a dark version of it. I really understand all of that. I get it. And I do believe conversations like this happen about women in Hollywood and in music and in art and theater and everything, talking about their bodies, that is all very real. But there's just something about the way that it's being handled. And I agree with the criticism from the production people who left, or who wrote about it and said, it feels like the thing that we're satirizing, we're actually just making now, basically. Like, it's not showing like oh, this is the dark side of it. Like, it's really just producing more, essentially, like freaking really expensive, high quality pornography from HBO Max. Like, that's what it is. Like, they've just got budget to run rampant. And I don't know. I'm floored that another complaint that I read, and I'll link to a People article that a People magazine article that has a People magazine. Is it even that anymore? People.com. I'll link to the article, one of the articles I read about it, where The Weeknd, like they got rid of one of the first directors because she didn't like the way the show was going. And the commentary from The Weeknd was like, well, it's showing it too much from the female perspective. So that's when they bring in Sam Levinson, the Euphoria perv, to come in and I guess give it a more male essence, because, you know, that's exactly what I need, is to hear about the struggles of being a young woman from a grown ass man. Like, what are we doing? Like, and I believe that all people can write all different characters. Anybody who knows me knows that one of my favorite stories in books and movies is The Virgin Suicide, which is written by Jeffrey Eugenides, who is a man, and he tells the story of women so well, but it's not sexualized. And I think that's the difference. This to me felt like The Weeknd and Sam Levinson basically got together at some point and just took their pants off, got a laptop out, and said, what's your fantasies? Like, let's type them out. You want to get Johnny Depp's daughter in this? Cool, great. And you want to cover up her face with a satin robe, and then so she can't breathe, and then pull a knife out and cut a slit in her mouth, and let's do a bunch of up close foot shots and her touching herself while choking herself. Why not? Like, why not? I don't understand. I think we could have got a lot of the story that, oh, they have a passionate, very intense love going on that's just so deep and passionate. I think we could have got all of that without it being so obscenely graphic. And then The Weeknd, the fact you came up with the concept and like, let me put myself in the lead role. I think the only person who's going to really be able to get across what it's like to sleep with a young pop star is me. Like, what? How are they making this? Between him and the Sam Levinson guy, I just look at Max and I'm like, what are you doing? What is happening? And Lily Rose Depp, very great actress. I mean, she's so good with the limited dialogue that she is given. Like, it's so much just about her posing and it's just a lot. It's a lot. And the thing that really challenges me, and it's something that challenges me about Euphoria as well, Lily Rose Depp and Sophia Sweeney, they both come out and they're like, no, we love working with Sam Levinson and we feel so comfortable with the nudity and how it's so I'm like, wait, am I a bad feminist for being so shocked by this or wanting to protect them, especially if they say they're safe and they're okay with it? Like, it's their body and their autonomy and it's their choice to do this. But I just struggle. I really struggle. I wish I had more of an answer because it's hard for me to consume that sort of content and then recommend that to people. I very much don't. I may stick with it because I want to know what happens next, kind of, sort of. But if it's just going to be more of the same, just overt boob shots and this girl smoking herself to death, I don't know if I can stick with it. The Weeknd's hair also is a problem. You wrote yourself to do this and then you gave yourself that haircut or hair wig, whatever you're doing. It's just a mess. I'm like stressed out talking about it because it was so awful, I felt. And there's good story there. We could have done something like, we have to keep this pop star, we can't let her know what's going on in the outside world, that this picture is leaked of her, but they just kind of like laugh off the revenge porn. It's freaking Mel from Frasier and David from Schitt's Creek and freaking Hank Azaria, the scientist guy from Friends. All these people who I really love and enjoy and think are great actors involved in this. And I'm like, well, if you guys signed on to this project, maybe there's gonna be some sort of point where it comes together and we learn something from this, because right now I just can't figure out who the audience is. Because if it's supposed to be young women, absolutely terrifying. Young teen women who idolize pop stars, no, that's the audience, terrifying. Please don't watch this. You're just gonna see a woman being brutalized. If the audience is men, what men is it for? Men who like watching like young women. What are we doing? HBO Max. I would love to know how this show was pitched, how it got greenlit. I mean, same with Euphoria, honestly. I would have read that and been like, dude, what? And why are you writing this, you fucking weirdo? I think he's weird. I think it's weird. The Idol, it was weird. The acting was very good. The Weeknd, people are talking about his acting is not great. And it's not 100% there, but it's not horrible. It is not terrible. He's just a little bit, I feel like, untrained. I don't know how to describe it. Like he's lacking a bit in reaction for me. So I'm not enjoying the acting, because maybe if he was like just like killing the role, I could see it more. But otherwise I'm like, you're just kind of fumbling your way through this role and touching up on this girl, and this is your concept and something that you came up with. Ugh. Not a fan. So yeah, that's my take on the Idol. That's where I am with it. I apologize if any of that was a lot for you to hear, because let me tell you, it was a lot for me to talk about and a lot for me to watch. I knew it was going to be bad because of what I was reading, but I didn't know it was going to be that bad. And there's stuff that they've had to pull out that they just didn't do, that he wrote. Some scenes that were just so graphic, they're like, we can't film this. It's just disgusting abuse fantasy stuff. Hollywood, man. I don't know. Take a deep breath and take a second. Okay, let me tell you about a show that is female driven, interesting, and not overly sexualized. Thank God. Cruel Summer. The second season has started. It comes on Freeform. You can watch the repeats on Hulu. I'm watching it on Hulu. This one's taking place in 1999, year 2000. The original one was solving a mystery. This one's like solving a mystery. It's completely separate from the first season. The first episode just came on. So it's a show. You know, I love when we can start a show together, friends. So it's a show we can start together. Season 2 of Cruel Summer. Check that out. That's some great acting there. Getting to see young women in dynamic roles and getting to play different ages and things like that. And from one summer to the next, obviously something huge happens, and to see them play those changes and then to do the changes physically with the hair and makeup and stuff, it's really cool. That's the kind of TV I like to see. And that's the thing, is like The Idol, it's something that I should or could have maybe gotten down with, because I'm here for a messy chick flick. Like, I love a little bit of drama. You know, I can get down with that. We're talking about what today, I believe, is the 25th anniversary of Sex and the City. Like, don't get it twisted. Like, I love a female driven show, and I am not a complete prude. I do love me some Sex and the City, but just the unnecessary nudity and stuff, I can't get back into it. Don't do it, Nash. Do not go back into The Idol. Keep moving forward. Cruel Summer season 2. Check it out, everybody. It's actually really good so far. Okay, let's do it. Let's get into the last couple of topics. I want to talk about Summer House, Martha's Vineyard, and then I want to really dig into the Summer House OG season 2, or not season 2, season 7, whatever season it is, the second part of the reunion, because that came on last night. I thought it was going to be very boring, and I mean, it wasn't like super exciting, but it went differently than I expected, and I want to dig into it because I didn't love how it went. But first, let's start with Martha's Vineyard. Whenever Bria's boyfriend actually showed up, the reaction to him is absolutely hilarious and one of the funniest things I've ever seen on one of these shows. The German boyfriend shows up, who we were like, no, he can't stay that long. He brings a bottle, which I should have researched. I am assuming it is some sort of fabulous European bottle of something, liquor that is amazing, because the way they were going on and on about it, they were thrilled. Great. And then they all get to the dinner that he planned, and that motherfucker started handing out watches. The whole cast was thrilled, and I absolutely loved it. I loved the reactions. I love when Jason was like, when I got this watch, I knew this man was a good man. And Silas and Jasmine, who had been talking mad shit, they got 2 Versace watches, and they're just giving out hugs, and we love you, Bria, and Simon, we're just glad to have you in the house, and we're glad to have the energy that he's gonna bring. Hilarious. Not one of those people turned down those watches. They all took them, and it was great. Oh gosh, and then Jasmine, she's really so going hard on their marriage stuff, and at the end she says she's having such a hard time being married and like fitting in with the group, but then before that she's telling Jordan, who I have grown to really love. Jordan is just, she's shot up on my list of faves on this show. I think she's fabulous. One of my favorites. But she's telling Jordan, I know how much you want a partner, and I want that for you. And Jordan's really just kind of fine with it. She did her year of celibacy, and I mean, I don't think you can put like an exact date on when you're going to feel ready after that to go get back on the market. You know, it wasn't 365 days and then boom, I'm going to get a man. Like, I love that for her, that she really discovered herself and is okay with being with herself until she finds the right person. I'm not saying she doesn't want that. And she's lovely, so intelligent, beautiful, deserves someone wonderful. And I'm like, honey, do you sit tight until that wonderful person comes along. Definitely don't waste your time with any bullshit. So whenever Jasmine was like pushing really hard, I'm glad she pushed back. It was good. And their brunch was super cute. I loved Preston out at the brunch. This is my thing where I'm like, if Preston is friends with Silas, there has to be something there to where I would like him in person. Like, I feel like Preston, if Preston likes him, I should like him because I like Preston so much. He's so funny. He's my number one. It's like Preston. Well, actually, Amir is my number one. No, actually, Milo is my number one. Let's not get it twisted. That's the character of a lifetime. Oh my God. The Watch What Happens Live with Bria and Amir was off the charts hilarious. I really enjoyed that. That was a good one. Andy's got himself a new crush. He loved Amir. He loves him some Amir. It's really funny. And Amir loves it too. I love when Andy gets a new favorite. It's just always so cute. And Amir is adorable and gave it right back, and they were just really funny on there. It was good, because it's like you can either give the shady answer or the funny answer, and we got the shady answer from Bria and the funny answer from Amir. It was just a good time. And Jordan's Watch What Happens Live. It was Jordan and Marlo. That one was really good. Like, they've all done a really good job, and they all have these unique connections to Bravo in the past. Jordan, she pulled out this picture of meeting Andy Cohen like 10 years ago or something in college, which was really cute. And then Amir, he's telling Andy, like, I slid in your DMs a few years ago or a while ago to see if I could be on a show if you thought I had potential or something like that. It was just something along those lines where it was just cute to hear that they connected and that they were fans of Summer House before joining this version of Summer House. I like it. I don't know. I'm just enjoying it. Check it out. It was cute. The last episode was really cute. The game was good. Light stuff. I'm enjoying Nick more. I like that he brought Bria food, like that, they worked to calm her down whenever she needed it, because she was really ramped up. And a thing that I love about Bria and this show, just in general, which is kind of weird, and I don't know, I may edit this part out, but I don't care. I'm just going to say it. I enjoy that Bria allows herself to look messy on camera. And then also Jordan, like, I'm just going to take my wig off right now. That kind of stuff. Because I've always, had that perfectionism crap of my own. And, oh, you got to present yourself this way. All that bullshit. And they just don't. And I really enjoy that. Because when they do get dressed up, baby, they look amazing. When Bria pulls it together, she's like, I'm going to either give you a look from head to toe or I'm chilling. And her like little relaxation outfits are cute. It's just like her little messy bun and stuff. I love it. It's like, this is your natural hair. Like, that's what it does. And, it's really cool to see. I don't know why. To me, it's just refreshing to see people letting their hair down and, not caring that the cameras are there. It makes the show more authentic, because that's one of the things where Housewives has gone so left with the glam squads and we can't even come out and really start filming until whatever time because everybody has to get ready beforehand and all that BS. Like, that's why the show is good, because we can actually just go in and get moments of people in their bed eating mac and cheese, throwing a fit. And the other thing is they keep that house super tidy. She threw a fit and had her bag packed and was like, well, not packed. She had thrown all her shit on her bed because she was going to pack and leave because she was mad, and then decided to stay and then got that room cleaned right back up. She's like, I got to pull my outfits together. I need this closet organized. Martha's Vineyard. That is where it is at. I hope you guys are watching it. But if you're not, at least tell me that you are watching Summer House OG. We have to get into the part 2 reunion. I was not expecting everyone. Well, I mean, I knew everyone in the cast was gonna go pretty hard at Lindsay. I didn't think Andy was gonna chime in. I wasn't a big fan of him pushing so hard for this friendship. I just need you guys to come to some resolution. Like, why, Andy? Why does this group, why does this friendship more than any other on Bravo need to come together? Why did Danielle need so much explaining of her feelings and everyone just really trying to like explain and re-explain and explain again to Lindsay why Danielle was upset? We never didn't understand Danielle's point of view. We all get it. I even get it and said this a while ago. I understood her point of view, wanting to be informed about the engagement because it was going to be a big party. And she has party planning connections. I'm one of those people who has party planning connections. If you were going to do something like this and have other people involved, yeah, you probably want to pull me into something like that to help you with it. And I got that from her point of view. But she still like screamed in a pillow in Carl's face whenever he said he was ring shopping. And then she said, oh, well, I, didn't know the proposal was happening. What do you think someone going ring shopping means? And I just feel like it was just a crazy making situation because we're just blowing past her behavior at the engagement. Well, we know it was kind of crazy. Well, what about all the tantrum in the house beforehand to where she's sobbing and screaming and crying as if something horrible, truly horrible has happened? I mean, her reaction was bananas. It was absolutely off the wall banana pants. We were to the point where production literally stepped in and they had to break the fourth wall and be like, girl, you don't have to go to the engagement party if you're this upset. And she still went anyway. And I'm like, Andy, did you even watch it or did you just read some Cliff's Notes version of it? It kind of almost sounded, I'm just going to say it. And I know you're going to be very mad about this, Andy, if you ever hear it, but I know you're probably not, so I don't care. It was a little Howie Mandel in Tom Sandoval. Boom, mic drop. I said it. No, it was where it was just like, you don't really seem like you understand what's going on. Like you maybe like didn't get all the history here or you didn't watch and you're on the wrong team here, basically. Because whenever he started, I mean, it was pretty intense with Lindsay. Danielle, she apologized. She was upset that she came to she wasn't involved in the engagement. She said that she was sorry for hurting your feelings at the party. Do you understand that? And then he picked up his cards. He threw one across the stage like Gambit from X-Men, cut Lindsay's face up. Okay, now that part didn't actually happen, but he did get pretty like terse with Lindsay. He was a little curt with her. And it's like there are whole ass families that break apart on these other shows that you could give two shits about, Andy. And for some reason, he just really wanted it to be something where Lindsay apologized or understood and said it was okay. But I feel like in this reunion, there was so much stuff that we never even addressed. We didn't really get to Kyle, like the whole slumber party thing. We didn't talk about at all. Danielle starting so much of this shit with Lindsay and Amanda, digging that all up. You're the least trustworthy. Like we didn't get into any of that. We didn't talk about that. They cut whatever, the one thing I was interested in hearing about actually. Last week at the end of the previews, they were going to show Gabby be like, hey, well, Sierra, you were texting Corey to hang out. And they just cut that out. There was a part in the season that they cut out that I really wanted to see where Paige was sitting around talking about Lindsay. Well, you're sitting here saying your biggest problem with Carl is that he doesn't put the towels up whenever it's actually that you want to go and get drunk with your friends and he won't let you, like something along those lines. They edited that whole thing out. Lindsay and Carl, I feel like they're getting pushed out. They want them to leave. I just get that feeling. I think they'd rather keep Carl, but now they know that, well, with Carl comes Lindsay, so I think they're willing to maybe part with him. Like the rest of the cast, like the team, they just don't seem as on board with them anymore. And I thought Andy liked Carl and Lindsay. He seemed so nice to them on Watch What Happens Live. I mean, and that was all after BravoCon, which the alleged incident happened that he never talked about. Like, if you want to get involved in the reunion, Andy, get involved whenever they're actually saying stuff directly that you know about. Like, was she rude to your assistant? Did you have to check her? Get involved in that, not forcing her to accept Danielle's weak ass apology. And now you've put us in this hole where nobody can say anything about it. Now Carl and Lindsay, like, they can never bring it up again, and everybody's just gonna be like, well, Danielle apologized at the reunion. She apologized and you accepted it. It's like, you guys, like, y'all twisted their arms into accepting this apology, like yelled at them, and Sierra getting involved and screaming at them about accepting this nothing burger apology that happened. I don't know. I wasn't with it. Not with the shit. I thought the Summer House reunion part 2, it went very left, and I don't know what the plan is for the summer. I don't see how these people can all live together again. I've said that before, and I'm just really, really confused now after the reunion. It was just so odd to me. No, you guys need to get over this engagement thing that you're upset about. This is the most recent drama. Move the fuck on from it, basically. But Kyle and Amanda, they're digging up drama from seasons ago that some people don't even know happened. Old cheating rumors, like pre-COVID. It's like, we've been through a whole ass pandemic since the topic they brought up. But Kyle and Lindsay got to get over this thing that just happened. I don't know. And then whenever Danielle was like, I don't have anything to apologize for in our last conversation, and Lindsay was like, I don't have anything to apologize for in our last conversation. Well, why not? Girl, how is it okay for Danielle to be so upset and have her feelings, but not Lindsay? If she is the villain, if she is the bad guy that you all think she is and has ruined Carl, a lot of the audience isn't seeing that. And the reunion would have been a really good time to let's really outline it. And none of the stuff that they came up with matched the negative energy that she was getting. Paige was absolutely awful at this reunion. And at this point, I just want her gone from the show because I was so annoyed with the little comment every 3 seconds from her. She does this shit every year. Oh, Lindsay, at the beginning of the season, we're great friends and everything's fine. And then she talks behind her back the entire time and then gets real buck with her at the reunion. It's a pattern, a cycle. I'm sick of it. Let's break it. Let's get rid of some of these people. I think that's where I'm at with Summer House, but I'm going to leave it to the professionals. You guys retool, cast whoever, do what you want to do. I will tune in for it. But that reunion, whew, that was stressful. I feel like the word, people say it a lot, like gaslit. It's overused. I feel a little gaslit though. They were trying to make me feel crazy for thinking Danielle was doing the absolute most about the engagement and then didn't really apologize for it. And that Lindsay just had no right to be upset. And that her behavior was more outrageous than Danielle's. Or more outrageous than Kyle's, honestly. Like, at one point, Kyle's like, I'm a goofy drunk. And, you're a mean drunk. As Kyle's, like, marched outside and screaming and yelling at the top of his lungs, calling her a bitch and all this stuff. You're not a goofy drunk. That's not goofy. That's fucked up, dude. Oh, it was stressful. It was stressful. I think I need to do a little bit of yoga after talking about it because I'm a little bit worked up. I got a little cranked up here. And then the Idol, I don't know what to make of it. I'm struggling. I will figure out more my feelings on it. I just watched it and then recorded this episode. I didn't usually take my normal amount of time to process. And I watch things a couple times, a lot of times before I'll talk about it. This was one where I'm like, I don't think I can watch it again because I can't see that poor girl sexually tortured anymore. I can't watch that again. I like to have some sort of positive. I try to give both sides of the coin when I talk about a topic. I really do. I really want to be able to give good. And like I said, the acting is good, but I don't know. I almost wish I had waited to talk about it and watched another episode, but then do I put myself through another episode? Watching those, I binged Euphoria and still regret it to this day. I don't get how people are like, that's my comfort show. I watch Euphoria to go to sleep. What? Why? I don't get that. Ugh. Different strokes. I guess I'm maybe just old or maybe I'm too young. I don't know. I just don't know where I fit in on this. But yes, thank you so much for tuning into this episode where we covered so much crap and the new Apple VR, whatever. I'm glad we talked about that for a second. The Idol. Cruel Summer season 2. Please watch it so we can talk about it. I think it's gonna be good. Man, the casting on that, whoever cast the daughter, the main daughter and the main mom, I mean, they actually look like, I mean, that they could really be mother and daughter. That was some damn good casting there. I love whenever that happens. Good stuff. Cruel Summer season 2. It's good stuff. Summer House, Martha's Vineyard. Hilarious. I loved it. Am loving it. Can't wait for the next episode. Shanice will be back, and that's going to be a mess, but I'm looking forward to it. And I think I'm frankly just relieved that Summer House OG is over. We can all take a break from that, take a step back, reevaluate our lives and our friendships and alliances, and just see how we feel this upcoming summer. Okay, guys, thank you so much for tuning into this podcast episode. You can listen to this episode and all the episodes in the Nashtag podcast at www.thenashtag.com. You can also check out my Instagram. It's at the Nashtag podcast. If you feel like being a Simon and just like giving some gifts and giving some moolah, just kidding. I'm kidding. But then again, not really. I have a donations page called www.thenashtag.com/tips, or if you just go to my website and click the thank you for your support link, it'll take you to my buy me a cup of coffee page. And if you feel so inclined, do that. Do not feel obligated, but I always like to mention it. Thank you again for your time. Oh my gosh, I can't wait for this ultimatum new episode and reunion. And then oh my god, it just hit me. Tomorrow night is the part 3 of the Vanderpump Rules reunion, and then the last 5 minutes, we're gonna find out what it is. I'm seriously, I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm so excited. I can't wait to talk about it. We are gonna check in on Friday. Until then, please enjoy your week. I hope work is good for you. I hope things are nice at home. You're watching good stuff, eating good stuff, having a good time. Thank you again for your time. I appreciate you so much, and I will talk to you when I talk to you.